Hello all. Happy Tuesday. My name is Sarah. I'm coming to you just east of Cleveland, Ohio. And if you've been here for a couple weeks, you may recognize this yarn. I'm going to be talking all about it in just a few minutes. Today, I wanted to do a little bit of a quick intro about myself because honestly, looking back, I'm not really sure if I ever did one. And I don't know what happened, but over the past couple of weeks, I've gotten so many new subscribers, and I don't know why, but I'm so excited. I'm so happy you're here. Oh, I'm gonna like cry about it. I don't know. I just didn't, I don't know. I'm excited that there are so many new faces popping on here to spend some time with me. So, I wanted to do a quick little intro. I do actually have 2 finished objects and then a couple whips that I wanted to talk about. So let's just get to it. Again, I live in Northeast Ohio, about 20 minutes east of Cleveland. I am going to be 40 this year. I have a lot of feelings about it, but we don't have to get into that right now. I am married with 3 boys. My husband and I, Friday actually, are going to be celebrating our 16th wedding anniversary. And then we have our sons are 15, 13, and 8. What else? I probably should have written some stuff down so I didn't forget anything. I am a nurse by day. I work full time. In Cleveland, we're lucky, very fortunate to have 3 major hospital systems. I work for one of them, and I work with cancer patients. I work in an outpatient clinic setting with physicians, right here, locally to me. So I do that during the day. I work 4 days a week, and then I have Tuesdays off, which is why I normally record on Tuesdays, which are now becoming my favorite day of the week. Not just because I'm off, but because I'm really, really finding a lot of joy in making these videos and talking about knitting, because I could talk about knitting all day. So I do that. Hobbies around the house besides knitting, well, not hobbies, I guess, but we have 2 dogs. We have 2 golden doodles. We have 2 cats. We have a ginormous fish tank in our house. And then we also have hens. I think we have 22 right now. And I have a colony of bees that have survived the winter. So if you're a beekeeper or know anything about bees at all, that's so exciting. I've been doing beekeeping for the last 3 summers, I believe, and we had not had a colony make it through the winter, actually even make it to the winter for other reasons. So this is my first colony that survived the winter, and I am so excited. Everybody always asks if I'm going to be taking honey or how much honey I get, all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to really be taking a lot of honey. I'm not doing it necessarily for that reasons. I'm more doing it to help the bee population, and they're actually situated very well in my garden, so I am really just have them more for pollination reasons as well. So we'll take a little bit of honey, probably just for ourselves, but not to give away or sell or anything like that otherwise, because I want them to be able to keep all of their hard-earned honey, unless whatever, I end up having some crazy surplus or something and need to remove some, but we'll see about that. But back to hobby-wise, yarn crafting-wise, I guess. I am a pandemic knitter, so I learned to knit in 2020, very roughly or loosely. I was knitting, but I often ripped out my projects or didn't like the way they were working up because I was new at it and I was not very adventurous. So I really just started super knitting probably about a year and a half ago. 2 Octobers ago is when I completed, I think, my first pair of socks. And from then on, I was it was all systems go. But I have been crocheting. My mom taught me when I was younger. I think I was like a tween or very early teen. So I have been, crocheting for 25 plus years or whatever that math ends up being. So I've been doing that a really long time. And then when I was younger, my mom also taught me how to sew. Again, nothing extravagant, like straight lines. So I can sew straight lines. So yeah, so crafting's always been a big part of my life, and knitting has just really taken over. I really feel like that's where my true love is, for sure. So that's a little bit about me. And can we talk about this now? Can we talk about this? So this is the 24/7 shawl. It is a free pattern by, I'm going to just put it up here with the picture because I don't want to be rude and butcher her name. And in previous episodes, I have talked about my frustration with this pattern itself. No, not the pattern, but the yarn. No, not even me. I was frustrated with me because I was doing something wrong. I couldn't figure out why. So last week I was like, well, forget it. I'm going to start increasing after my 6th day. This is a terrible recap. Okay, very quick recap. Bear with me if you have heard this story the 1,000th times I've said it. I had a 14-day mini skein from Yarnaceous Fibers for Valentine's Day. It was February 1st to the 14th, the countdown up to Valentine's Day. It was Galentine's Roar. I don't remember what the title was, but it was Yarnaceous Fibers. Maggie, love the yarn, love her. She's great. Yarn is amazing. So I found this 24/7 shawl after another big old mishap I'm not going to go into. And I ended up being short a day on the back end, on the decrease end of the shawl. I couldn't make sense of it. A lot of people reached out with possibilities or ways that maybe I could have gone wrong. And I appreciated all of them, but it's going to be a mystery that's unsolved. So nobody needs to fret about it anymore. It's done. So last week I decided to start, it's a symmetrical triangle. So I was going to increase days 1 through 6 and then start my decreases day 7 through, then hypothetically that would only go to day 12, right? Because it's 6 on the increase, 6 on the decrease, that's 12 days. And I was like, but I don't understand what I did wrong when I had started my decreases after day 7. So let's just try this. So I ripped over half of it out, went back to day 6, started my decreases, was working it up, and I kept laying it like half on half so that I could make sure my days were like all lining up with what I had already done. And they were. So then I was like, I don't understand why I did wrong. I know this is going to be crazy, but I'm ripping this out again. And I'm going to start my decreases after day 7 because mathematically it just doesn't make sense that I can't have 7 days on the increases and 7 days on the decreases. And I was like, I don't know what happened the first time, but I want to use all this yarn and I want to use it all together and it's beautiful. So I went back through and I did. And I don't know why. I'm not questioning it anymore. The yarn gods were on my side and it worked out perfect. Almost perfect. I ended up at my 14th day. I ended up running out of yarn at the very literal tail end of this. So this is a different color and this is a different color. So I honestly, I went through and snipped off like the pinks that I had the most extra of, and it was very stressful in the end, but I did it and it's done. Do you guys want to see it? Oh God, it's perfect. I'm going to try to figure out an outfit to wear to work tomorrow so I can wear it. So, this is the end. This pink is day 14, but so we're going backwards, changing it up a little bit. The colors are just so beautiful. And it's done. And it took way too long because I wanted to have this done in February and it is March 20, I don't know what the date is, the 26th, I think. But it's done. It's done. So I love it a lot and I can't wait to get some use out of it. I'm totally going to wear this with I wear my jean jacket a lot in the spring and summer and fall. So I'm going to throw this on with my jean jacket. I'm going to throw it on to wear to work. It's going to be fantastic. So I'm really excited to have this done. So excited, beyond excited. And then my second finished object, which I'm not sure if will be predictable or not, is my Sunshine Chevron baby blanket that I'm making it for a coworker, a friend. Her sister is having a baby in the beginning of May, I think it was. So I wanted to have it to her by tax day, April 15th. I was doing 6 rows a day is how I had calculated out like the rows that I still needed to do in an appropriate time frame to be able to block it. And I don't know what happened, but it ended up flying by this weekend, and I actually knit more than I was supposed to. So, but it's fine. So it is done, and that's actually what matters. So here it is. I mean, you're not going to be able to see all of it, but this is the gist of it. So the blanket ended up being 34 inches by 36 inches, which I think is a fantastic size for a baby. The funny part is though, because I knit a whole extra half of a section, so like it's supposed to end like kind of right here, I accidentally kept going. So because of this, the blanket is traditionally worked side to side, not bottom up, but because I did the extra half of a chevron, it now is like, well, it's opposite. It doesn't matter though, it still looks amazing. It looks great. So either which way, doesn't matter. Who cares? And I love it, and I blocked it, and it's so soft. I used again Caron Simply Soft held double in the colorway country light blue, something along those lines, and it's just a great like dusky blue, like it's not like an in-your-face blue, and it's really soft. So I'm gonna take this into work tomorrow to give to my coworker friend so that she can gift it to her sister. So that was really exciting. I got 2 major projects done, which is fantastic because again, I do have some self-induced monthly goals, and I was worried that I wasn't going to come near to hitting any of them. But then I knocked these guys out. So let's talk about, those were mostly my time-consuming knits for the past week. So let's talk about the couple other things that I have going on. My grandma's socks have not gotten a lick of work done, so I did not even bring those down to show you, but I am making her the Luna socks, which is out of Summerly Knits' new book that she just came out with, and those are, it's a great little pattern. I just haven't worked on them. I actually know why I haven't worked on them. I'm doing them 2 at a time on Magic Loop, and that is my very least preferred method for sock knitting. There is a few reasons why I'm doing them that way though. I'm not going to reiterate all of that, but there are specific reasons why I'm doing it that way. I just have to kind of like force myself to do it. So I do have a bit of time in the mornings to do knitting, like in between 2 of my kids going to school and when I have to start getting ready for work. And I was using that time to do the chevron, my 6 rows on the chevron baby blanket. So now that time is free, so I might focus that morning time on my grandma socks. There's no deadline for them. I just have like 5,000 whips, so you know, I mean, I have to get something done. But anyway, I have also been working on my vanilla socks that I'm making for myself. Again, this is my completed one. It just needs the afterthought heel, which I will do after the second pair is done. Yes, they are incredibly long. No, my feet are not that big, but yes, I do love a long-legged sock. I've said it before, and I'll say it 1,000 times. I like a long leg. So here is where we are now. I was at this little marker last time, like so kind of just below the ribbing, and I've gotten that much done. So I mean, that's a good chunk. That's a good chunk in a week. I don't know how I actually got so much done. I can't remember what I was doing that I was able to, like, I don't know. I take these to my son's karate class and do a lot of knitting there, so maybe this is just his karate classes. I don't know. But anyway, I'm proud of my work because, again, I mean, I do these videos every week, so it's just nice to see, oops, it's nice to see the progress that I make. Oh, and I always forget to do this, but this is, I keep this in a bag from Ginger Snap Fibers, and it has super cute, there's her little tag. I cannot resist polka dots, so, and I can't really resist bees, so this was like literally meant to be for me. So that's my one WIP. And then, oh, let me talk about my Thursday night cast on. Again, if you've been here for a little bit, my girlfriend and I have started doing knit nights on Thursday nights. I go to her house and we just literally catch up and knit. We are decided to start watching a show like on Thursday nights as well. She's not a reality TV fan, but I am. Like, I really, really am. So I talked her into watching the latest season of Love is Blind on Netflix. I'm not sure how she feels about it, but it's just something mindless to have on in the background that we don't like really have to pay attention to while we're talking and doing all those things. So anyway, we a few weeks ago had decided to cast on a sweater together. She's never successfully knit a garment, so we decided to do it together. Not that I'm any kind of expert either, but I have made a few. So we are doing the, let me get this right, the lightweight Raglan pullover, which is a free pattern put out by Purl Soho. And I'm using their Sweetgrass, which is an organic cotton and alpaca blend in the colorway Buckwheat Beige. This pattern has threw me for a bit of a loop because it is, you do the sleeves first, so sleeves cuff up, and then you do the body from bottom up, join the sleeves, and then working around for the neck. Wasn't thrilled about that, but we had already picked it and all these things, so I figured, you know what, just go out of your comfort zone. So it's not too much done, but this is my first sleeve. It has this really great, it'll get better blocked out, but what is this called, a corded stitch, I think it's called, which is just really cool. I've never done that before, and it just creates this nice little, this looks really messy, but it's, I promise it's not as messy as it looks. And it is fingering weight yarn, and these are on, I'm doing what the pattern recommended. I did not gauge swatch. I went back and forth about that a lot last week, and I just, you know, I figured I never have before. Why start now? Which isn't the right answer. These are on US 4, a 3.5 millimeter. That's what you use for, I think everything. I think everything, because there's not ribbing on it either. So I think you use 3.5 the whole time. So I have just DPNs right now, and then I'll switch to circulars when I get to the body. But yeah, I like it's the cotton is really soft. Like the alpaca really makes it soft, and it does have a little bit of a halo to it. Maybe is that the right word? Halo. It's got a nice little fuzz to it. It's comfortable. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So this is going really well. Again, I'm only working on this on Thursdays, which I have found to be very like relaxing or not stressful, I guess, to know that like this, I don't count this in my WIPs because this is like just a Thursday thing, and I'm gonna like work on it every Thursday at her house until it's done. Like, I'm not working on this at all at home. So it's just been really nice to have, does that make sense? Like to have something, and then I look forward to it on Thursdays also. So anyway, so that's where I am. I'll throw a progress keeper in there so I can keep track week to week where I'm at. And this is stored in another one of my favorite places, probably my second favorite place. Ooh, maybe no, I don't want to compare the two. Ginger Snap Fibers and Charming Necessities is where this bag is from. And it is a chicken bag, so literally how could I resist? I love this bag because it has a drawstring. It has this nice little handle, and then she has a, you won't be able to see them, but there's 3 pockets inside, which I really like that feature of her stuff. So her and Ginger Snap Fibers are my top 2 favorite bag companies. Oh, let me put the tag back in. So that's where we are with that. So then there was a little bit of a dilemma yesterday. Yesterday was Monday. My kids are home for spring break this week, hence the like this is like spring break Sarah vibes, like hair's not done, don't really care. Today's my normal day off anyway, so I usually don't like get like dressed or anything anyway, but it's been like extra chill because I took yesterday off as well, so I had a really nice 4-day weekend. And what was my point to all of this? Oh, so I got my shawl and the blanket both done yesterday, and then I was like, well, what do I work on now? I mean, I have 2 sock whips going, sure, but like I didn't have a bigger project going. And I know I had already talked, but I had purchased some Purl Soho when they were having their spring sale to do a couple to do a couple shawls, and I had also purchased some yarn from Knit Picks to do a few shawls as well. Everyone's doing like the year of the cardigan, but I think I'm just doing like the year of the shawl because I just really love them so much. Anyway, I didn't know what to pick up next, and because my Ravelry queue is like endless. My favorites on Ravelry are endless, but I do also have like a lot of whips that I could pick up. So I'm really proud of myself. I did not cast on a new shawl, which is really what I wanted to do. But my reason for picking this up is really lazy. I picked up what I'm about to show you instead of doing a new shawl, literally because I didn't feel like winding the yarn up. And that's really it. But I'm glad I picked this up because so first of all, what I am about to show you is the Cosmos textured wrap by Jessica from Mama in a Stitch. It's a free pattern available on her blog. She also does have paid patterns available as well. Why did I pick this up? Why did I choose this one over anything else? Oh, because it's like the year of the shawl, and a shawl, kind of the same thing, right? And I knew that I was kind of close to being done with it ish. So anyway, so I am doing it in, well, here, let me just show you first. I don't know why I'm like being so suspenseful and dramatic about it. So this is it. There we go. I really love this pattern because of all the different stitches that you get to do in it. So it really keeps you engaged. So it starts with, here, I'll show you where I was when I picked this back up. My little chicken. So there's my little chicken. So then I got this all done yesterday and this morning because I haven't been able to really put it down. It's worked on really big needles too. I think they're 8mm. I think that's a US 13. Oh, US 11. 8mm. So it kind of flies by, and it's on a worsted weight. So the yarn I'm using is Big Twist Soft in the colorway Taupe. I think it's a worsted. It says medium weight on the tag. So the other reason I picked this up, besides the fact that it's almost done, because it really is, I wrote it down. I started this November 22nd of 2022. It's like a year and a half ago. And it's so funny to me. Like when I think back to my knitting mind a year and a half ago, like so much has changed and I've just learned so much. It's just like, I don't know. It's just fun to look back. So I wanted to pick this up. So I'm actually supposedly just one little section away from being finished. It's you do this section in her pattern 6 times or until the length that you want it. But I think I want it longer because right now it's like, although I guess it's just supposed to be a wrap, right? Not like a shawl. So you don't wrap it like around your neck, but you can't even really see it. And I probably won't be able to really stand up. But it's like, it doesn't matter. You'll just have to take my word for it. It's not as long as I would like. So I have this much more of the, it's a mess. I need to ball this up. I have this much more of the skein that's on hand, but then I also have a whole nother ball. So I could really actually make this like as long as I want. So I'm going to certainly finish this up and see where I'm at, and then quite possibly add in the other ball, because honestly, I don't have anything else to do with that yarn, and it would just end up going and sitting, and I don't need more yarn sitting. So I might just really make it like extra long, and then I can kind of like throw it over my shoulder and have it be like a super cozy wrap. But anyway, let's talk a little bit more about this pattern, because I really, really love it. It's just such a beautiful combination. So you start, where do you start at? Where do we start? Down here, I think. So you start with the seed stitch, which is right here, and then you go into drop stitching, which are my favorite rows. You can't even really see it. I'm not holding this up very well at all. Let's do it this way. Is that better? So you do the seed stitches right here, and then you do some drop stitching with some garter stitching in between, and then you do garter, and then you do stockinette, and then you're back to the seed. So that's, what do you do? 1, 2, 3, 4-ish different, 4 different stitches. And I just think it's so, I don't know, I just think it's so cool. It's such a great texture. Like, I mean, I know it's called like the Cosmos texture wrap, but it's such a great texture. And I really, really like this color a lot. I don't really do brown very often, but I'm loving it so much. So I'm really glad I picked that up, and it will be done. This has been on my needles way, way too long, which also I am realizing is another problem with having so many whips, because I am running out of needles. And like old me would have been like, well, just buy more needles. But new me is like, no, let's like collect ourselves. Let's figure out what whips we have going on, and let's maybe work on those, right? I did, while I was updating my project pages on Ravelry, I did count like how many whips I had going, or how many whips I had, and it's like, I don't know, I have like 10 or 11 or maybe 12, and I try not to get stressed out about my whips, but like that level of whippage kind of has me a little stressed, but not so much that I'm like freaking out, but so much that I think I'm going to I'm not going to cast anything else on right now. I want to finish things, because also I'm a, what is it called when you're like either a product knitter or a product, or you either enjoy you knit for the product or you knit for the knitting. I can't think of the other word. And I'm a knit for the knitting process knitter. But also like, hey, like I'm putting all this time in, like let's get some products, right? So yeah, so I think I'm gonna you know, I don't know, I could change my mind by next week, but I do want to get this wrap done, especially because it's just like springtime here. It's, I don't know, to me it was cold today. It was like 49 degrees. That's, you know, not, that's Fahrenheit, but it was super crazy windy, so it was just like really chilly to me. And it's like shawl wrap time, right? So I'm excited to have this done. I'm excited that I picked this up to work on. I do have another I do have a fingering weight sweater that's in my whip bag too that will be perfect for spring, so I would like to get that done. Although, as I'm saying all of this, I'm going to immediately contraindicate myself, because Andrea Gaughan is releasing her what is it called, the Haw Creek pullover. I can't remember what it's called, but way back in January, I think she was test knitting it, and I had bought yarn for it then because I knew I wanted to make it. So like she's releasing that, I think this week or next week too. So I'm like, oh no, because I really, really want that. And I have the yarn for it. I don't have the yarn for it anymore. Oh shoot. I bought yarn for it, but then I didn't know when the pattern was coming out, which I had guessed spring, and here we are in spring. Shoot. I had reallocated some of the yarn for a baby dress that I had just made, and then I bought complimentary yarn, from Knit Picks, to use more of it in a shawl. So now I actually don't have yarn for it. Well, I guess there's my answer. I'm going to buy the pattern for sure because she always offers a discount to her newsletter people when patterns come out. So I'm definitely going to buy it because I definitely do want to make it. It's a sport weight yarn sweater, and I don't have any lightweight sweaters. So knit sweaters. Well, I'm going to be honest. I don't really actually have like any knitwear, which is ridiculous that I've been knitting for so long and I don't actually feel like I have a lot to show for it. I only have 2 sweaters that I knit. One of them is a worsted weight Raglan sweater that I actually made for my son, and he didn't like it, which I knew he wouldn't like it. He picked the color. I did a color check with him throughout the process. He swore he liked it, but really I knew he wouldn't. So I stole that back from him, or I took it from him. I took it back. Whatever. So I have that, but it's a smidgy small on me. But I am in the process of shrinking myself. I'm on a little health journey. So it will eventually fit me. And then the only other sweater I have that's truly that I made for me, and it was my first ever sweater that I knit, and I'm not going to remember the name of it, but it's a free Espasi Tricot pattern. Turtle Dove. The Turtle Dove sweater, which is this like great like bat-winged, huge, like chunky yarned thing, and I did so many things wrong with it, but I love it so much and I cherish it because it was the first garment that I ever made. So literally those are the only 2 sweaters. So one doesn't even fit, and then one fits. The Turtle Dove sweater is just like it's ginormous. I should wear it actually on one of these videos and like stand up and just, it's big. It could fit 2 of me. I didn't know what I was doing. Lesson learned. But anyway, so I don't have anything to physically wear. I do have a few shawls that I've made, and then socks. I have probably made maybe 10 pairs of knit socks, and I will always and forever love making them and will always make them. But yeah, I'm wearing socks, and I feel like I always wear them and never show. So let's get these bad boys up here. So these are, that's not gonna work. I think these are the Daily Socks by Summerly Knits. I only ever knit Summer's patterns and Kay the Crazy Sock Lady. I'm almost positive these are the Daily Socks. It's just a really, really nice, lightly textured pattern. And then both of these colorways are from Farmer's Daughter Fiber Sock Squad from last year. So yeah, so I wear a lot of knit socks, but I want more knit stuff for up here. So yeah, maybe after I'm done with this whip, I'll work on my fingering sweater. I guess that was the whole point to this ramble. Sorry about that. Do you guys love like seeing how my brain works? I don't put a lot of thought into things, and that's anyway, whatever. Let's move on. I feel like I did have one other thing to say though about yarn. Oh, I started, this is so stupid, but I started a yarn count up, like from the last time I purchased yarn, so that I could see how long I've gone, because I really do want to stop buying yarn. I'm gonna contradict myself in one moment, but so I started a count up. So I have officially gone 18 days since purchasing my last yarn, and I'm really excited about that because I previously was a very quick yarn buyer. So I'm glad. I still have looked at yarn. I have still put some in my cart, but I have not checked out with it. And I'm really proud of myself. That's like a really big deal for me, 18 days. Now, I really want, okay, I don't know. I'm like a walking contradiction here. I have never bought an advent for like a Christmas advent yet. I've always stopped with the price tag, and I'm not saying it's not worth it. It's just a very large expense for me to put out in one go. So I've always stopped myself from buying an advent. Also, I have said on here and have found out multiple times, I'm not a fan of surprise yarns. I just like to know what I'm getting and the colors that I'm getting, and I like to be able to pick my own things. So obviously Advents are totally, that's not what they are at all. Except, who is it? There is one, is it Moonglow yarns? I think that's the name of it. They do show you what their Advents are going to be, which I love, because then you know. So I did almost buy their Advent last year. It was this beautiful, just like rainbow fade, not a fade, fade. Anyway, but I love Hue Loco's yarn very much. I have not purchased any in a very, very, very long time. But a few months back, they released their Advent pre-orders, and this year it's botanicals, or botanical inspired. And I love flowers and plants and just like, and I really love her yarn. So I have been going back and forth about buying her Advent for this year, because the other reason haven't really bought Advents before, or these like mystery things, except this Valentine's Day thing that I did buy. But again, I struggled finding a pattern for it. So that's my point, is with Advent, I just never know what pattern to do, what's going to work out. I'm not good at modifying things and whatever. But I really want to do the, I'm going to say it wrong, the anthology throw, is that what it's called? Which is specifically made to do with Advents. And I just thought, minis that were inspired by botanicals, I just feel like I can't go wrong with that. And then if you put them all in a blanket, it gives me goosebumps thinking about it. So I did have that in my cart today, but it's a big purchase. So I'm really, really debating that. The other thing is if they ever do have leftovers, they do sell them after Advent is over, like the next year. So I could wait and see if they are still available and buy it after I see the color ranges. But it's also really fun I did enjoy opening like my Irinaceous Fiber February. It was fun to open every bag. And I thought, if I'm doing one skein, maybe I could keep up with it, or mostly keep up with it every day. I don't know, I'm trailing off here, because that's not till December, but I'm stressed out because I know that the pre-orders are not going to be up forever. Like, I think in the one I want, like the sock base I want, or yarn base I want, she has like 16 left or something like that. So I really need to sit down and think about this. And I can't ask my husband, because he's like so supportive that it's like does me harm. Like, he'll just tell me to buy it. I'm like, oh, well, do we have the money? Okay, then buy it. But like, that's not the point either. But it's like yarn specifically for a project, so like, is it okay? And it's like a gift to myself, which you could argue all this yarn is a gift to myself, but it like I would have a pattern for it. I would know what I'm doing with it. It has a purpose. I don't think that I could ever have too many handmade blankets. So I really kind of want to buy it. And then the other one I'm struggling with is Molly from the Homespun House. I've never bought her yarn before, but everybody talks about it and shows it all the time, and it's always so, so beautiful. I really, really am considering getting her Advent that is one sock set like a week for 4 or whatever at Christmas. Do you know what I'm talking about? So I've really been debating on getting that as well. But again, it's a kind of a big chunk of a purchase, and like, do I need more sock yarn? Absolutely not. Is it fun to like knit up with people when they're knitting things? Yeah, it is. And you can never have too much sock. You can't have too much sock yarn. You can't. I don't know why I'm rambling about this. I'm sorry. So that's where I am with purchases. I've gone 18 days. I almost broke it this morning. I do think I really want the Hue Loco Advent to do an anthology throw. It's just, I really, really do think I want that. So we'll muster it over. I'll keep an eye on the quantities. Anyway, moving on from yarn things. TV wise, this has been interesting. Because I have had so much time off work, and my kids are like older, so they don't like want to do a lot of things with me anymore. So I've had a lot of knitting and like TV watching time. So I watched the HBO special Quiet on Set, which everyone's been going bananas over. It like looks at kind of like backstage Nickelodeon issues from the 90s and early 2000s. Very interesting. I feel like we kind of probably knew a lot of those things were going on, but it's like horrible. Just, it's horrible that it went on. It's horrible to see it brought to life or light. It was just, it was fat. It was very interesting. I really much enjoy documentaries like that. The other thing that I am still watching is Sex Lives of College Girls on HBO Max. That has a lot of more episodes that I'm still, because again, I'm behind on everything. So still watching that. I picked back up on Hulu a long time ago. I was watching Welcome to Wrexham, and I don't know why I stopped watching it, but I was just like kind of floating through and was like, oh, do you want to continue watching? And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah. So I have been watching that again, which I love it because I think it's just interesting. And they're like super short episodes, so they're just like super quick to get through. And then the other thing that I am caught up on, because it's still on TV right now, is Abbott Elementary. I love that show. Like, I've watched past seasons like multiple times. I just think it's so funny. It's just like good-hearted. It's just, I don't know, it's my jam. So I'm all caught up on that up until like whatever was released last week. So that's what I have been watching. Nothing super like crazy exciting. My husband and I, we watched on Netflix. It's older. It came out last year. It's called Fubar with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, he remains a terrible actor, but we really liked the show. There were a lot of like funny quips. This character Rue, I just found her to be hilarious. We really liked it. It's an action show or whatever. And then we are trying to still get through Only Murders in the Building. Oh, I lied. We finished that last night. So season 3, I think, is what was out latest. We finished that last night. I love that show. I really love Selena Gomez, but I'm not a fan of her acting, so to speak. It's just very like monotone, unless that's what she's supposed to be like, but I feel like that's just what she's like in general. But it's no hate on her at all. I liked the show a lot. So we finished that. We finished Fubar also. So I don't know what we're gonna watch now. We'll probably just go back to watching Modern Family on Hulu. We've just been watching that from like the beginning, and we're watching that through. So we'll see. But I have a lot on my list of things to watch, like myself personally, just from suggestions from here and coworkers and things like that. So that's been awesome to just keep like adding things to my list and just plucking away at them. And then reading, I am still reading. I started this just last week. I'm reading, I should know this, A Court of Thorns and Roses. I'm starting that series by Sarah J. Maas. Coworkers are reading it, so I got, I said, sure. It's a fantasy, right? Is that the genre, fantasy? I really actually like it so far. I wasn't sure if that was my jam, but I really enjoy it. I think she's an amazing writer. I think the like description, like you just feel like you're there, like you can see it. It's very what's the word I'm looking for? Descriptive, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm enjoying that. It's I'm going to be listening to it forever because it's a 16-hour audiobook. And I think I'm like 25% of the way through. I don't generally listen to audiobooks on the weekends just because like with kids and like house noises around, I generally can't focus on them. So I typically will spend my weekday mornings during my knitting time listening to audiobooks. So I really only have about like a half an hour, like Monday through Friday to listen to audiobooks. But yeah, I'm very much enjoying it so far. I know that some people have differing opinions about the books to follow. I'm not there yet. We will just see how it goes. But yeah, that's it, you guys. Did you all stay with me? That was a weird, all over the place one. I'm sorry about that. But I just felt like I had a lot that I wanted to get out there. So if you've lasted this long, obviously thank you so much. I really, really, really appreciate all the new subscribers and new faces, and I so enjoy engaging in the comments. I value it more than you'll ever know. So thank you. Please continue to do that. This just brings me so much joy. Um, I'm going to cut it off before I get emotional. But thank you so much. I hope you all have a very, very amazing week, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday. All right, bye.